Today I'm going to show you how to upload your chemical information using a .csv file or a tab-separated text file into Open Enventory. Note that currently uploading using a .csv file is only available using Koivon's distribution. The first thing we'll do is go ahead and log into Open Enventory. Note that you have to be an admin in order to access these settings. So if later on you can't see the buttons that we're talking about, then you need to talk to your server administrator to get the required permissions to be able to complete this task. So once you load into Open Enventory, on the top bar you'll see a button called Settings. You can go ahead and click on this button. And you'll see that on the left side the panel updates to show you all of the options for changing settings. For this video we will focus on the import and edit via text file as well as the import only for chemical containers. The import only for chemical containers was a special edition which Koi kindly created for our group. And the purpose of this is, with this function, if a barcode already exists in your inventory system and you have it in your CSV file, the barcode will be skipped over. This avoids any duplication of chemicals in your system. This only works for chemical containers, but the screen will all look completely the same as for the import text file. The difference is in the import via text file, you will have options for storages as well as containers. And if a barcode already exists in the system, it will create a duplicate of that existing barcode. So once we click on the import only, we'll go ahead and hit choose file, and we can choose the file which we want to upload into the system. You can also see that we can see the number of lines to preview as well as the lines to skip. The preview will just give you some lines of the Excel file so you can make sure that it's going into Open Enventory correctly. And the lines to skip is how many lines at the top of the Excel file or rows it will skip. This is generally helpful for skipping the heading row, which has the title of each column inside your .csv or tab-separated text file. So once you're happy with these settings, you can go ahead and hit the green check mark, and it will load this into Open Enventory. And you can see here's our 10 lines that we viewed, and you can notice that it skipped that first line which has the heading title. So at the top there's a bunch of drop downs for each column as well as the property. So in the first case we see name, and it has auto-filled column A. And so Open Enventory will automatically try to fill the properties in this sheet to match what's in the .csv file. Sometimes this will be incorrect, so you should double check and make sure that everything is how you want it to be. So you notice that here name, it picked out column A, which yes is correctly column A. We want to also select the cast number, which is in this CSV file, column B. Now it's important to note that if you have opened the .csv file or tab-separated text file in some other application like Excel, it can change the cast number to a date. So make sure that this hasn't happened on you if you have opened this up in another program. Note also that Open Enventory tries to pull all of this safety data based on the cast number. So if you don't have this information in your Excel file, there's a good chance that Open Enventory will be able to pull it from the suppliers. So once we go through and add our name, our cast number, as well as other important information such as the amount of the container, we'll also choose how much is still available in the container, and this will just set this to the total volume so that when we use the journal variation of Open Enventory, it will subtract off how much you use. The storage name, in our group we keep this blank to start with. This will just leave it as no storage location to start with, and then when we scan it using our terminal, it will update to the location which we move it to in our lab. We'll also put in the barcode, which is very important. We put in the supplier, the catalog number, and also the order date. Furthermore, there's an option for the comment on the chemical. So you can have this be any column you want. This is just going to be text that's inserted in. We put this as the group for the chemical, so the owner of the chemical. And the reason we do this is because currently in our Open Enventory database, we have two groups using it because we share our chemicals. So this way we can keep track of whose chemical this originally belonged to. And so this will either be the Romo group, since I'm in the Romo group, or the Wood group, since we share our chemicals. And so that's it. Once you hit the green check mark, it will go through the process of uploading, and you'll see a list of cast numbers going down through. And once it's moved on to the next cast number, it has successfully uploaded that chemical. Some of them will show information below them, and that's just it getting some of the information from the supplier, SDS information, etc. Once the process is complete, it will show you that it's complete at the bottom of the screen. The time that this takes will depend on how large your file is. So this one, we only had about 12 entries, so it was very quick uploading to the server. So that's how you upload using an Excel file into Open Inventory.